In 1973, a comic play about two gay men bringing up a son had the power to shock. Since then, Jean Poiret's drama has endured in many guises, from French film to Broadway musical, and then as a Hollywood movie, The Birdcage, directed by Mike Nichols, in fact. Now the musical has been revived at the Menier Chocolate Factory in London, starring two actors better known for straighter roles. Douglas Hodge, fresh from Titus Andronicus, plays Albin, who by night is Zaza, the star of the Saint-Tropez transvestite bar, run by Georges, played by Philippe Quast. Together, they've raised Georges' son, Jean-Michel. But when the boy falls in love with a girl from a conservative background, he wants to hide his flamboyant mother figure. Georges' loyalty to his partner of 20 years is sorely tested.
Though the years race along, I still think of our song on the sand, and I still try and search for the words I can barely remember. Though the time tumbles by, there is one thing that I am forever certain of. I hear la da 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 da, and I'm young and in love.
We've been having a little bit of singing along here, which the audience at home luckily has been spared. Ian, do you think it was worth reviving?
Oh, certainly. I mean, I'm a sentimental old gentleman, and that song in particular had me in buckets of tears. I think that, of course, there's not much plot to it, but who cares? Because the central love story of these two men who've loved each other for years and years and carried on into middle age and beyond was just beautiful. The songs were good. It's nice at the Chocolate Factory that you're very close. You can see them sweating. You can see them rushing off and gasping for breath. You can hear the pounding of the feet. It's great to see a musical where you're not miles away. So yes, for me it was a fantastic evening in the theatre.
But the social context is very different now, isn't it, from 1973?
Completely. I think this is a beautiful, charming period piece. I mean, the Menier Chocolate Factory has established itself as one of the best places for musicals in London. And it's a beautiful production. And I liked it and enjoyed it very much. It's very dated now, and it's not going to speak to gay people today, because it's really set at a kind of hinge moment, because gay politics here, this is really a defence of gay politics as the right to be different. And gay politics has changed very much to be about the right to be the same. Actually, the anthem here, you know, I am what I am, nowadays you'd be singing I am what you are. And these characters wouldn't be appalled that their son is getting married, they'd be getting married themselves. So it's from a very different generation of gay people, but it's not, that doesn't mean that it's not lovely and charming and beautiful for what it is.
When I went there, it's belly laughs quite often at just the very idea of men dressed as women, which I don't find inherently hilarious.
No, I mean, you know, drag artists, I mean, we've seen a lot of drag artists over you know, represented in film and theatre, and, you know, every hen night that goes to Blackpool knows about drag artists. There isn't something inherently funny. And actually, what I found quite interesting about this production is that the kind of 1980s Broadway production was very, very careful and safe and you know, not to offend. And there's a couple of elements in this that are a little dangerous, and those elements are the dancers, who are very masculine in their femininity. They remind me a bit of the dancers in Swan Lake. They're quite dangerous and scary.
Matthew Bond's male version of Swan
exactly,
Lake.
And they come right up to the audience and they challenge them. And actually, the very, very last moment I found very interesting, because what the Menier Chocolate Factory has chosen to do is give the two heroes a lingering kiss while they're both dressed as men. And I think that's very important.
Did we believe in that relationship?
Oh, I did, yes, certainly. It reminded me of an old gay couple in my village, actually, who'd been together for years and years and years. I thought, yeah, and in the end, it was just two people in love. So, yeah, I certainly believed in it all the way through.
And Douglas Hodge really invests
rocks,
such pathos and such. You really get a sense of the courage it took to be that kind of drag queen at that time. So, I mean, he makes it. He's
and the contrast between his kind of a drag queen and these modern drag queens is quite astonishing. He's so motherly that actually, I mean, obviously he doesn't really look like a woman, and the conceit would never work. But he was so feminine that I kept thinking of kind of, you know, long-term marriages, straight marriages, you know, which is obviously kind of, it's meant to mirror. And I did feel, you felt incredible sympathy for him as a mother.
Yes, yeah, you did.
Did the son, did his performance reflect the good performances as you see it of the older actors?
He wasn't as good as the older ones. No,
He was given nothing, though,
He wasn't.
wasn't
he?
None,
Yeah,
of,
exactly.
none of the rest of them really had very much to do.
Yeah, none of the straight characters have got
No, they
any
didn't.
parts.
So
at all.
he was all right, but he was just leading up to the other two, I guess.
And it has some structural flaws as a musical. I mean, it is one of those musicals where the show stops for the musical number and then starts again.
Yes.
The musical numbers don't move the story forward like they do in the best musicals.
And there's a long while before we see the confrontation that we're leading up to, which is when the Conservative family comes and meet Albin and Georges.
Could maybe have made more of that, I guess, but I was just waiting for another nice song, to be honest with you.
You're waiting for a bit more frou-frou
Yeah,
in your
that's
face,
all I
weren't
wanted.
you? A bit more high kicking. Yeah, I mean, the actual, the musical itself is incredibly flimsy. Not the songs, actually. The songs are very strong, but the book and the story is just, I mean, it's kind of half a sitcom, I suppose, really. But there is, the central performance is so fantastic, and the dancers are so great, and you're so intimate with it that I do think you get carried along by this evening, I have to say.
Lovely. Well, La Cage aux Folles is on at the Menier Chocolate Factory in London until March 8th.